According to the Pew Research Center, as of April of 2016, an estimated 69.2 million millennials were voting-age U.S. citizens, a number almost equal to the 69.7 million baby boomers in the electorate. Within the next two elections, millennials will be the greatest voting population in the country. Since millennials account for 1/3 of the entire population, their vote is weighed heavy in politics. So what are politicians doing to win over millennials in terms of higher education cost? To Senator Sanders, this means free education, a new concept that has taken millennials by storm. We spoke with David Eisenberg, president of the College Democrats at Texas State, to get a student perspective on free education.
And I think now in the year 2016, we realize that having a 4-year degree from a college university is pretty necessary to have a decent paying job. That's just the evolution of our economy and our job sector. So when I heard that, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. If our job sector requires a 4-year education, then yeah, we should provide, free education to people who are qualified for it. I don't think that, this is a free handout just to anyone who wants a college degree and to come to college and mess around. I think it's for, people who work hard and who demonstrate that they're capable of coming to college and capable of earning a degree, and they're worth investing into. And I think, we keep the admission standards, maybe even raise them a little bit. And I definitely think that Hillary Clinton, on her education policies, even though it wasn't free public tuition, she definitely had things that were working to benefit students. Free college tuition was in there, and Hillary hopped on board with that.
For President-elect Trump, the billionaire businessman has made some proposals for education. Mr. Trump said he will work with Congress on reforms to ensure universities are making a good faith effort to reduce the cost of college in exchange for federal tax breaks and tax dollars. Mr. Trump also wants to add $20 billion towards funding education. However, the businessman has not stated where the $20 billion would come from.
There are not enough resources to do everything we'd like to do. We can't provide as much education for everybody as we'd like, as much housing for everybody as we would like. And so there, again, no such thing as a free lunch, so there are trade-offs involved. And the question is, yes, if we make education a high enough priority, then we can provide so-called free education. If you don't find the funding, then you have to find a trade-off with some other program. Do we reduce defense and put more funds in education? Do we spend less on health care and put more in education? But that sort of is the situation we're in. The choices are very difficult, is what I'm trying to say here. Mrs. Clinton's platform and Mr. Trump's platform, one of the major differences you saw in those two platforms was she was going to try to redistribute income. Almost all of her ways of trying to help the impoverished was to redistribute from the wealthy to the poor. Mr. Trump's platform was one of promoting economic growth, and through economic growth, creating jobs for people who don't have jobs, and better jobs for those people who have low-paying jobs. I think what we've tried to focus on is the importance of education to improving not only an individual's quality of life, but the quality of life of our nation, our society.
For student and professor alike, it is evident that educating the population leads to economic prosperity, and in return, a higher standard of living.
Education has to be disseminated fairly amongst all our citizens. We can't have just the children of the wealthy able to get a 4-year education. We need everybody to have access to a 4-year education. And then when everybody has an access, then everybody can go out and fend for themselves. And they'll have a better quality of life, and our nation will be better for it.
Although free public tuition may seem like a distant memory with the election of Mr. Trump, the president-elect has added policy to help fund education, a step in the right direction to help alleviate the rising costs of higher education.